Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from M&R Automotive. Today we're removing a grill from a Ram 3500, which is identical to a Ram 2500. Alright, first thing we're going to do, let's pop the hood. We're going to take off this protective cover. The only thing that's holding it is clips. Alright, so now we're going to remove these top push pins to take this protective cover off. So just pry it and get your prying tool underneath it. All you're doing is trying to get the top of the pin out, and then you can remove the pin itself. So what we're doing is just raising the top hat off, and then it'll come out. So that's one. I think there's a total of 12 on this model because it has this cover as well. I think there's another 2 over there, so probably a total of 14. That's one. Alright, so that's the last 2. Now that we removed all the push pins, we can just lift up and take this cover off. We're going to remove these 2 bolts with a push pin, and we're going to loosen up the top of the grill by removing these 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the same thing on this brow. There's also 2 bolts here, as well as a push pin. That's 2. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and loosen this push pin. Same thing. Now the 4 that hold the top of the grill. There's a couple more that I want to take off to be able to take off the top brow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we should be able to separate the top brow as well as the side pieces and put them to the side. Now that we removed the brow, there's 2 more bolts, 1 on each side, that's holding the grill to the headlight. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to disconnect the camera. This vehicle has a front-facing camera, so we'll disconnect the connection here. And there's also a pin that we can remove here. It just holds the harness. So for this one, press on the pin and slide it out. Okay, so that disconnected it. And now we're just going to release this here, so that way it's not in the way. So now I'm going to go ahead and loosen this harness, the one we just unclipped. I'm going to loosen it from the radiator support, or from the shroud, just to have some flexibility of removing it. And just pry it underneath it, get your prying tool under, and just twist it left and right in order to take it out. It's so stubborn. There we go. Alright, now it's free. So now, since we got the top, let's go ahead and work on the bottom. So in order to do that, we have to remove these side pieces first. So I'm just going to pry this with a screwdriver and I'm going to pry this open. So we're just going to pry this open from here and just pry it a little bit and just use our fingers to keep tension. Okay, there we go. And after I remove the side piece, I'm going to show you all the clips. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to pry it here. I'm going to stick a prying tool and just kind of work it in there to kind of release that bottom pin. And then the rest will kind of uncover. This one, when you pry it open, and also 4 clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now there's a bolt under that cover that we just removed. We got to take it out on each side. Now that we're underneath the truck, we're going to go ahead and release the grill from the bottom. There's 5 nuts that are holding it in place. We're not removing the nuts, we're just loosening them so that way it slides out from the front. 1 in the corner, 2, then there's 1 in the middle, 3, then there's 4, and then there's 1 in that corner. So there's a total of 5, and like I mentioned, you're not removing them, you're just loosening them. So I can actually, this one's even barely tightened. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab my power tool and get it in there, and it'll be a little bit easier. And the last one is in the corner. So now that we loosen those bolts from the bottom, we can go ahead and take this out. And now we're just working our way out. And we took off the bottom brow. When we released the bolts from the bottom, it gave us space to be able to take these tabs out. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those were the bolts that we were loosening up. So the last 2 bolts that we're removing on each side will be these 2 So now that these bolts are removed, let's remove the last ones. Those are the two, one on driver, one on passenger. So now that everything is loosened up, the only thing we have to do is lift these two tabs, one on each side. You just release it here. You just remove it up, and that's it. Now that we removed all the screws on top and the bottom, the grill should come off fairly easy. You just lift these tabs and take the grill off. And this is how you remove the front grille of Ram 2500 and 3500. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.